If you want everybody to get up out of the mud, you gotta help them get it out of the mud. What's up, everybody? Ant Lamberts, Get Up Out of the Mud. And today, this is gonna be a different type of video. Lately, I've been just talking about things like mentorship, community, getting motivated, chasing your goals and your dreams. But today, I'm gonna touch on something a little bit different, and it's gonna flow a little bit different. You see behind me all the food and stuff that I'm gathering together. Every year I do a Thanksgiving basket giveaway. And basically what I do is along the months, I just pick up groceries here and there, put these boxes together, fill them up with corn, canned corn, beans, pie crust, full turkey, cranberries, mashed potatoes, biscuits, everything you need for a meal. And we pack it all into one box, costs anywhere between 23 to 27 bucks, depending on the size of the turkey. And basically, it's every year just what I can afford to do, I put together, and then I go to the schools and I find out the families who are hurting and probably need the food, and I get those lists together, and then we deliver the food, right? And it's been something I've been doing. This is my 9th year now. And what I'm gonna talk about today has something to do with that, but also has to do with something a little bit deeper in how I got to this place. Because sometimes, I think people feel like you're doing something because you're getting some self-gratification for it, and some of that is true, and in a way it kind of is, and this is where it started for me. So, depression. Depression is something that a lot of people deal with, but they don't know how to describe it, they don't know how to explain it, and they don't know how to deal with it with others, right? I think since my teen years, I've struggled with depression. In my younger years, I didn't know what that was. I would just, act out foolishness, mad, fighting, sad, suicidal, all types of different emotions, right? Now really understanding that the main thing that was happening to me is I was suffering depression spells. When I went through prison, I went into a really deep depression. And I think it kind of tripped me into some of the most intense depression spells that I've ever had in my life, and it never went away. And what I want to do now today is talk a little bit about depression while I'm in a depression. And I told my producer this morning, I was like, I want to do a video that's real. And really, I didn't want to even do a video. I wanted to stay home and I wanted to sleep. I wanted to sleep my entire day away. I didn't want to deal with any feelings. I didn't want to deal with any people or anything. And I kept telling myself, like, you know what? I always try to beat my depression. Like in the early years, I lay down, but the older years, I fight it back now. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get up and go do this video, but man, if I'm gonna use my platform to be authentic, to be genuine and be real, then I gotta talk about things that are not so easy to talk about. So this morning I got up and I felt like I was not happy with my life. I knew that I had a good life. I know that my kids are well. I know that I have a good job. I know I have income. I have great friends. I have family. I understand all that. But the overall anxious feeling of me makes me unhappy. And it creates like a dark cloud. And on days where it's actually cloudy out, it's actually even worse. But I get it in the summers. I get it in great times. I get it when things are going really good. I get it when things are going bad. It just kind of comes in my life and goes out of my life. And the holidays are especially hard. And it's not a real crazy read. I mean, it's not like I had a whole bunch of traumatic things happen at holidays. There's just something about it, though, that triggers something in me. And every year around October, I start to get down. I'm still positive. I still care about other people. I'm still doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm struggling. I'm battling that. And so what I did is, it was one year where I had a pretty good year financially, but I was in this deep depression. And I just kept trying to find ways to get out of it. And, I had read something, I can't remember exactly where it was from, but it was talking about sometimes a giving energy, a positive energy that you can give out can pull you out of a depression. So I started thinking about, what could I do? And I remember like a long time ago, man, I seen this movie, and There was a successful dude, man, and he had got all this money together, and he went down in the city and he opened up this semi truck, and he just started giving out turkeys to all these people. And I remember, like, in this movie, seeing the picture of the people just so relieved to get the food. And I was like, man, that's deep shit, man, because, you know I've struggled with hunger in times of my life, and I've had friends that have struggled with hunger. So I said, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hand out turkeys. Well, then when I started pricing out the turkeys, I realized it wasn't expensive as what I thought it was. So I was like, well, maybe I'll put whole dinners together. I didn't know where I was gonna bring them to. I just knew that I could find the people. There's no shortage of hungry people in America. Believe that. There's no shortage of hungry people. You know, I've known people struggling with hunger all my life, at every different stage of my life. And depression, hunger and depression, right? Tough holiday times, for me at least. So I decided, my son was about 2 years old at the time, and I decided me and him were gonna do that together. We're gonna get these turkeys, we're gonna build these baskets. And I was looking, the self-gratification that I was looking for was that this could be my source of giving that can pull me out of a depression and help me. So we did. We put it together, and I think we gave out 50 baskets that year. And you know what? I just felt so good, man. Like, I remember sitting down at the Thanksgiving table with my kids and a couple friends of mine, and just feeling like, man, we did the right thing. Like, we had the resources, we had the time, we made the effort to get it done. So every year, I was like, man, in that first year, a real quick story. I ain't trying to blow you up on 20 minutes today, but a real quick story. This lady called me. She was out in Ravenna. She lived in a mobile home. Had me come out there with a turkey dinner. And when I walked in, the snow flurries were coming through her house. Like there was a hole in her roof. And she opened up her refrigerator, and there was a can of sardines or something in there. And that's all she had. And she was like, hey, this ain't Thanksgiving meal for me. I'm going to make this last 3 months. Whew. Can you imagine being so hungry that you have to make a $27 box goods go for 3 months? Man, I went back out in the car, I had a couple other baskets, brought them into her, but it changed. I felt bad. I pulled up in this nice Cadillac, dressed all nice. It was like I got the point, but I missed the point. But it opened me up to want to grow this. So that's what I've been doing. Every year I've been growing it, and I've been growing it. And it helps me get me out of my depression spell that I just started. So that's how 100 I'm being with you right now. I'm in depression right now. And people will say, well, there's meds for that. I did all that stuff. I don't like meds. So I'm choosing to do everything I do naturally. I just don't want the poisons in my body. I'm already dealing with diabetes. I don't need to be soaking my blood up with all these other poisons. So I'm doing it by giving. Understanding that I'm in the depression is one of the biggest things, to know it. I used to just be out acting out. Now I know it. So being aware of it helps a lot in giving. So I think what I want people to get out of this video is to understand that during this holiday season, it's not just people hungry, it's also people depressed. And that's a really, really rough combination for a lot of people. Suicides, drug addiction, all types of bad things trail those things. So yeah, that's what I really wanted to touch base on was that of what I'm going through, and to know that it took a lot for me to come on and even talk about depression. But I know that a whole bunch of us out there go through it, and you're not alone. And you know what? It's not like you're crazy or any of that. It's just stuff that we go through, and then we internalize and we handle it ourselves, and we try to push through all these different things and maybe try to find an avenue of giving. It don't have to be what I'm doing. It can be what you're doing. Maybe you give time. Maybe you just, I don't know, figure out an outlet for yourself and be smooth. And if you want to help me with this Thanksgiving giveaway, you can just hit me up, message me. I'll tell you what we're looking for, the help that I need. And it's always canned goods go real far. I mean, that goes the furthest. So a lot of canned goods, We need boxed potatoes and stuff like that. If you can come through with that for me, it'd be much love. Get it up out of the mud, baby. Peace. If you want everybody to get up out of the mud, you gotta help them get it out of the mud.